This is absolutely everything you need to know if you are just starting your weight loss journey. So if you're new to the gym, you're hesitant to start the gym, if you just started a weight loss journey yourself, or you're just scared, you want to start and you've got no idea what to do, then today I'm going to break down absolutely every single thing you need to know to get started on your journey. Now this is going to be specific to weight loss and specifically fat loss, but we will do another video talking about muscle growth as well. So bear with me on that, but this is everything you need to know, from nutrition, from your workouts, from your mindset, to your daily habits, to your cardio, and so much more. So let's just get into it. So to start with, the most important thing when it comes to fat loss is your nutrition. It's as simple as that. You have to be in a calorie deficit, and that means you burn more calories than you consume. So say you consume 2,500, you need to burn more than 2,500 calories in a day, because calories are your main energy source. Now, in order to figure out how many calories you need, you can just go online and type in a calorie calculator. They are pretty good in general. You basically just Google calorie calculator, put in your daily movement, your body weight, height, and things like that, and it'll calculate your calories for you. Now, bear in mind that when you do these, a lot of people put in more activity than they actually do. So if you are putting in a highly active person, you're probably not. If you just go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, you're going to want to underestimate that slightly. So if you're active, just put in the one less than that. So I think that's like moderately active or sedentary, because a lot of people overestimate that. No one has the same number of calories they need to be eating in a day. Everyone's body is different because it's affected by like your height, your weight, your sex, your daily activity and stuff like that. So you need to have a calorie target that works for you. Secondly is your protein. Protein is the second most important thing. You've probably heard people bang on about protein before, whether you're new to the gym or not, but protein is equally important because protein is what essentially will hold on to or retain muscle mass. When we lose weight, we are aiming to lose fat, not just weight. So we want to hold on to as much muscle as we can, and that comes from eating enough protein and going to the gym, which we'll get onto soon. So, calorie deficit and protein. With protein, how do you know how much to eat? Well, very simple. You want to eat 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per pound of your body weight, or your ideal body weight. If you weigh 200 pounds, you would have 1.6 to 2 times your body weight. So that would be 160 to 200 grams of protein every day. If you're new to the gym, slightly lower end is absolutely fine. The other two macronutrients are carbohydrates and fats. Now these aren't as important. I always recommend having at least 50 to 70 grams of fats as a minimum, because fats basically will help with your hormones and your mood. And the main purpose of carbs are to basically give you energy. So you might have heard you want to cut out carbs before. Ignore that as complete bullshit. Carbohydrates are your main source of energy. So you need carbs in your diet because they are going to keep you, feeling good and boost your workouts. So what I typically say is you don't need to track carbs and fats. Just track your protein, track your calories to make sure you're in a calorie deficit, and the carbs and fats just fill in the rest of the day. And if your fats are particularly low and you're feeling low on energy, you might want to change them around slightly and increase your fats or increase your carbs. It doesn't really matter. Avoid liquid calories is the next point. We do not want to be consuming calories from oils and alcohol and drinks and stuff like that. If you're going to go for drinks, then have low calorie versions, so 0 calorie fizzy drinks, diet drinks. Coffee and tea with minimal milk, so an Americano with a splash of milk or a splash of almond milk. Don't go for your lattes and your cappuccinos because they use lots of milk and it all adds up in calories. And a good rule of thumb is to follow an 80-20 diet. You don't want to cut out foods that you love, so you probably want to go for 80% of good healthy foods and 20% of the foods that you enjoy. Obviously we can't be eating takeaways all the time every week, going out all the time, because that's going to put you in a calorie surplus. But you can still go out and enjoy foods. You just need to be sensible in the week, eat the good food, and just get back on track if you are going out. But don't completely neglect the foods that you enjoy, because if you do, then you will fail. You might have tried a diet before and you've just gone straight to eating salads and chicken and rice. And trust me, I've done that, and you fall off it very soon because it's not sustainable. So you need to eat foods that you enjoy. So make lower calorie versions of the foods that you enjoy. So to summarize nutrition, eat in a calorie deficit, have a high protein diet, eat foods that you enjoy but lower calorie versions, don't have liquid calories, carbs and fats are pretty irrelevant, you don't need to track them, and eat 80% good food and 20% of what you enjoy, or unhealthy foods. So that pretty much sums up your nutrition. In terms of going to the gym now, this is equally as important for fat loss as such, but it is obviously very, very essential for retaining muscle mass. But you want to make sure you do not get fixated on the numbers. That's the main thing. Do not go to the gym with the mindset thinking, I need to be as strong as I possibly can be. You don't need to do that. You just need to be able to go there and lift weights to stimulate muscle growth and maintain muscle growth. Okay, find exercises that you enjoy. And when you do find exercises that you enjoy, perform them 2-3 working sets at most. So I normally do 2 sets per exercise, pick 5 or 6 exercises per session and go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. It doesn't matter what split you do, it just matters that you find a split that you enjoy. So that could be push-pull legs, which would be pushing movements, a pulling movement and a leg movement, and doing those on separate days. Or you could do an upper body workout and a lower body workout and do that 3 to 4 times a week. Or you could do full body workouts and just do 3 or 4 full body workouts. There's no perfect split. Search splits, try different things out, whatever works for you. I like to do a push, sort of pull. I do 2 full body splits, but one of them is more push focused and one of them is calisthenics or bodyweight style focused. So I'll do a push focus would be like your chest and your shoulders and your triceps. A pull focus is back and biceps, and then obviously you've got your legs. But I do like full body days with a push focus day and a pull focus day. Just find what works for you. It's as simple as that. When you do that, you then want to aim to progressively overload. If you're new to the gym, you'll find your strength goes up quite quickly because you're new to the movements, but after a while that will plateau. So try and aim to increase your strength every sort of 3 to 4 weeks when you are looking. That's more like important for a gaining phase. If you're trying to lose weight, that's not as important. Just lift as much as you can. The first 2 to 4 weeks, I would say, you're going to feel a lot of muscle soreness after the gym, and that is muscle damage because you are new to the gym and your body isn't used to what you're being put under. Do not chase that soreness because that soreness is a sign of muscle damage, not a sign that you've been working out. So eventually that soreness will die down. That's not a sign to change your workouts. Keep your workouts the same. The way you track your progressive overload is through doing the same workouts week on week, aiming to improve them every single week because that's how you know you're getting better and getting stronger. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try loads of different workouts. You don't need to do that. Pick exercises that you enjoy and repeat them over and over and over again. Everyone's different, so what might work for me probably won't work for you, so you just have to try a few different things and then aim to do it over time consistently. Increase your strength, and lastly, you want to train to absolute failure. The first few sessions you don't need to do that, but what I mean by training to failure is you could physically lift no more weight of that exercise if your life depended on it with good form. So say I'm doing a bicep curl. Your last exercise, your last reps should like really be a struggle. So you've got to really struggle to get them up. When you get to that stage and you get to here and you can physically lift no more, then that's failure. So it basically means you can lift no more weight of that exercise with good form. Okay. So once you've been to the gym 4, 5, 6 weeks, then you can look to start increase the intensity and start training to failure because that's what's going to stimulate the most muscle growth in the long run. So that's about it for the gym. So to summarize, train to failure with good form, pick 5 to 6 exercises per session, go to the gym 3 to 5 times per week and pick a training split that works for you, and don't get fixated on numbers. Moving on to cardio. Do you need to do cardio? No. Should you do cardio? Yes, purely for your health. Cardio is a great tool for fat loss, but it's not going to be the sole reason as to why you burn fat. You burn about 5 to 10% of your calories, depending on how much cardio you do, from cardio. So the main way you burn cardio is just through living. Your body has to burn calories just to live, and that's where 70% of your calories burn come from, and then you don't need to worry basically about cardio. So obviously you do want to do it for your overall health. Now pick some cardio that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. So if you like running, then run. If you like cycling, then cycle. If you don't really like any cardio, find a podcast and walk, or listen to a podcast whilst walking on a treadmill at the gym. But find a piece of cardio that works for you. And yes, walking does count as cardio. What I recommend is you do not need to start with any cardio, but always try to aim for 2,000 steps or more daily than you're currently doing. If you are not losing weight and doing that cardio, when you hit a plateau, that is when you will add in some cardio. So I always start my diets with 0 cardio, and then I start running to increase my calories burned, which means I don't have to reduce the calories that I'm eating, because we want to eat as much food as we can when we're dieting. So no, you don't need to do cardio, but you should do it as a staple of your routine for your health. And it's probably won't be relevant if you're new to the gym, but if you're training for like a marathon or a specific cardio intense event, then you want to use your carbs and proteins around that cardio, or around that cardio, because you need the energy before carbs and protein, and you need to replenish the energy you've just burnt at the end of the session through carbs and protein. But I'm going to assume if you're watching this, you don't really need to know that, okay? So don't worry about carb or meal timings. If you're new to the gym, it's not that essential. Just eat the calories and eat enough protein. So to summarize the cardio, you do not need to do it, but you should do it for health. Add it in when you hit a plateau and pick a form of cardio that you enjoy. Right, lifestyle and habit tips. You do not want to give up your social life. You do not need to give up your social life. If you give it up, then it is again one of the quickest ways you're going to fail. So include social occasions in your life. If you're going out on the weekend and you know you're going to eat some more calories, you can either do extra cardio that day or eat less in the week so you have a few more calories to play around with and you can still stay on track with your goals. You will not fall off track if you go out on the weekend. Just don't go out every single weekend. I mean, you can do. I used to go out every single weekend getting absolutely pissed off my face and I still got in the best shape of my life. I'll post a picture here of how shredded I got. Going out every single weekend, sometimes twice and even 3 times a week. So you can do it, so don't listen to anyone who tells you otherwise. Do I recommend it? No. But if you do want to go out and enjoy your social life, please do it. Do not listen to anyone who tells you you can't. Sleep. Sleep is the next important thing. You need to sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. That is non-negotiable. There was a study that was undertaken with 2 separate groups who lived the exact same lifestyles. Absolutely everything was the same. One group slept for 5 hours a night. One group slept for 8 hours a night. The group who slept for 8 hours a night burnt more fat and kept more muscle than the group who slept for 5 hours a night. That is how important sleep is. So if you are lacking sleep, or you do not get 7 hours a night minimum, you are going to be sabotaging your goals. Not to mention, you're going to have way less energy and feel like shit and be more likely to fall off of your diet when you get no sleep. Because I don't know about you, in fact, I do. No one feels good after they have a lack of sleep. So if you have a shit night's sleep, you're going to fall off track. Well, the likelihood you fall off track is higher. So get 7 to 9 hours sleep per night, get yourself in a good routine in the evening and wake up at the same time if you can, because that is what is going to help you stick to a routine. Stress can also impact your weight loss. It spikes cortisol and it will make you hold on to more water and it will just make you also feel shit and more likely to give into cravings. So if you can minimize stress, then please do your best to do that. Everyone is different. So find what works for you, whether that be meditation, whether that be focusing on something, whether that be putting your headphones on, whether that be going for a run. Do whatever works for you because everyone deals with stress differently, but try and minimize that as much as you can, albeit I know that is not going to be possible all the time. Keep your activity levels high daily through walking if you can. Be consistent over a long period of time and make sure to weigh in every single day, but do not worry about the scale weight every single day. And that will go on to our next point, which is tracking. So you want to weigh yourself every single day, but you do not want to worry about the daily weight. Now that might sound contradictory, but hear me out. Your weight is going to fluctuate daily. If you have a high salt meal or a high carb meal the night before, the next time you weigh yourself in the following morning, because you need to weigh yourself in the morning, first thing, before you've eaten anything and after you've gone to the toilet, because we don't want to include any water and food weight in our weigh-in. So if you've had high salt and or carbs the night before, if you're more stressed and you're holding on to more water, you are going to be heavier the next day, and that is purely water retention. For every 1 gram of carbohydrate you consume, your body will hold on to 4 grams of water. So if you have 100 grams of carbs, you're going to hold on to 400 grams of water, so that's half a kilo of weight instantly there. So don't worry about the daily weight fluctuations, but what you want to do is measure the patterns throughout the week. Every week, look at the average. Next week, has it gone down? If yes, brilliant, keep everything as it is. If it hasn't gone down, reduce the calories after a couple of weeks. So don't worry about the daily weight, but worry about the weekly averages, and you want to aim to lose about 0.25 to 1 kilogram of body weight per week. Progress photos are going to be your best friend because you will not see the difference in the mirror on a daily or weekly basis. The progress is going to be so minuscule every day, so you need to look at it in picture format because that is going to be the biggest motivator to keep you on track. If you take a photo from 1 month and then 4 weeks later, you put them side by side, there will be a huge difference visually. But if you look at yourself in the mirror, there will not be a huge difference. So you need to have photos to refer back to, and I recommend doing this every 3 to 4 weeks. Track everything daily, weigh yourself daily, get your steps in daily, track your protein daily, take the weekly averages of calories, weight, etc., and aim for 0.25 to 1 kilogram of weight loss per week. And also track your strength and gym progress. Finally, we're going on to mindset and progress. Now, results take time. Be prepared to put in long periods of work without seeing much results or physically seeing the results, okay? You need to be patient and you need to be consistent with it. Nothing great happens overnight. Ultimately, you didn't get overweight overnight or you don't gain muscle overnight. So you're not going to lose weight overnight. You need to be consistent and be prepared to put in the work day after day, week after week, month after month. Unfortunately, it will probably take longer than you think, but if you're consistent, do not let anyone get in your head. Do not listen to any noise from the outside and just focus on yourself and you will achieve your goals. There is absolutely no way you cannot do that. Okay, so be consistent. Remember, there's no perfect plan. There's no one size fits all. Everyone is different. Just find a plan that works for you, stick to it, and be consistent. Unfortunately, weight loss is not sexy. It is boring, but if you stick to the basics, it will work. So to summarize, get yourself in a calorie deficit, eat enough protein, get plenty of movement in daily, track your progress, take photos, and be consistent. That's really the basics of it. I appreciate that it's probably a bit long. There's lots of information to take in. And if you are struggling and you do need some assistance and you want someone who's been there, done that, and can help you along your fitness journey, get in the best shape of your life, so you finally feel confident this summer, then luckily for you, I have got my Lean into Summer program. So if you would like to be a part of that, click the link in the comments or in the bio to this video, as I will link all my free stuff and I will link applications to my training and my Lean into Summer program in the comments. And as always, like and comment for the sake of the algorithm, and please subscribe if you haven't already. If there's anything you want to see me cover, any topic, anything at all, comment in the comment section, and until next time, I will see you on the next one.